today's training, we're going to be talking about why your nervous system is sabotaging your coaching business. And we are going to break down exactly why it's happening and how to stop it. But before we jump into it, I do have a question for you. Are you spending more time promoting your offer or preparing it? I want you to think about that. Are you spending the majority of your time as a coach? Are you preparing the offer, right? Getting all of the bells and whistles done, like, making sure that it's perfected to a T before you show up and market it, or are you promoting it? Oftentimes we think it's just more responsibility or just better stewardship, obviously, to have it all prepared and all done and all the modules recorded. You're thinking you need more modules. You're thinking you need all the things. But truly, you need to promote it. People need to know what you have to offer. You have to be able to market it so that people are even aware of who you are and what you do. You're spending all this time on the back end when really you need to be on the front end. And so we're going to reveal. So take some time to really sit with that question and think, okay, how am I really showing up? Am I really promoting my business or am I hiding? Right? And so we're going to jump into the R in the root system. And so the R is reveal the root of the symptom, right? So right now you're avoiding selling until everything is perfect. You're not marketing because you don't have your back end all completed. You haven't launched yet because your funnel isn't 100% complete. Like you don't have every single email set up. And so your funnel isn't finished. So you're not launching and you're not inviting people in because the back end, the complete coaching program isn't complete. You will be there forever. You will delay your business growth so significantly trying to get everything complete when it doesn't have to be. It really doesn't have to be. And I'm going to break down at the end exactly the process that I teach, that I walk through myself, and that I teach my clients as well. Everything does not have to be complete for you to sell. All right. That's actually the opposite of what you need to be doing. And so right now, the root of the symptom is you think self-sabotage is, you think this complexity that's happening, it's really rooted in self-sabotage because you think it's more of you being responsible. Right? You're thinking you're being responsible by making sure all the bows are tied, all the T's are crossed, all the I's are dotted. But if you're waiting on perfection, you're going to be waiting forever. And the clients that you're called to serve are not going to be able to really get the transformation that you offer. Right? So that's the R. Okay. Reveal the root of the symptom. That's the very first step of the root system. Tongue twister. Now, we're jumping into the second step, which is the O. Observe the origin of the seed. So when the Lord gave me the root system, it's like he kind of gave me this analogy of pulling a weed out of the ground, right? So you're pulling a weed and now you're observing the roots, right? You're observing the root of the symptom. You're observing the seed. And so somewhere along the line in your life, through society, through your parents, you probably subconsciously believe somewhere that you have to work really hard for money. And so you're overcomplicating everything, right? You're thinking, okay, for me to get sales, it can't be easy. For me to get sales, it has to be complicated because I have to work hard for money. That's how I make money. And so you overcomplicate the back end. You feel as though your nervous system, it actually rejects the thought of it being simple. You're thinking, oh, if it's easy, like easy money, it just doesn't seem right. Receiving easy money or receiving money with ease, large sums of money at that, just does not feel right. I have to work really hard. I got to push. I have to grind. That's the only way I'm really going to be able to deserve the income that I'm calling in, right? And so your nervous system feels like if you are making money with ease, it's irresponsible, it feels dangerous. So your brain creates more effort, it creates more work for you, right? So you add a bunch of steps, you add a bunch of systems, you add more funnels, you add just more complexity to the system when it really doesn't have to be, right? And it's all because of this origin seed of making money is hard. I have to work hard for money. And this is probably just what you grew up seeing your parents do, or seeing the world, seeing just society and how people really hustle and grind to make money. And now you're thinking, okay, yeah, this is the only way to do it. And that's not true. Okay. Because complexity makes income feel like you deserve it. All right. That's what the body feels. And so now we're going to jump into the second O in the root system, which is overturn the soil of sabotage. Ooh, so this is where you're able to say, okay, you know what? What I've been believing is not true. What I've been believing that I have to work hard for money, it's not serving me. It's actually keeping me further away from my goal. It's keeping me further away from the desired outcome that I truly want. I want to serve my clients. I want more clients. I don't want to be sitting in the back end of my business tweaking emails, tweaking logos, playing in Canva, designing all these beautiful back end workbooks and all the things, when really you need to be on the front end promoting how you have a transformation that you can walk your clients through, right? And I've made multiple videos about just how to do that, right, with my treasure trial framework. And so your brain believes that complexity is it's keeping you safe, but it's actually delaying the very growth that you're praying for. You're praying for more clients, but you are delaying the provision. You're delaying the progression of that when you are playing around in the back end and not on the front end. So for you to break through, for you to overturn the soil of sabotage, it's really for you to break out of agreement with the old lie, break out of agreement with the old programming that says I have to work hard for money. That is not true. It's having this realization that, you know what I've been doing is actually keeping me back. What I've been doing, overcomplicating the system, creating more funnels, jumping from strategy to strategy, from loop to thing, thinking that it has to be this well packaged, beautiful, well delivered, bow on top, sealed, all modules recorded, everything completed. That's not the case. That is not the case. And it's just delaying you, right? And so you got to overturn the soil of sabotage. And once you uproot the weed, that seed, you observe the seed, the origin of the seed, and now you're overturning the soil of sabotage. You're getting that soil from all around there. You're overturning all of that. You're seeing how it's just been delaying you. It's just been overcomplicating and delaying your progression. Now it's time to, the final letter in the root system is the T, which is tend the seed of truth. What is the truth? The truth is selling can be so simple. Selling is so simple. Selling is simple. Making money is simple. Selling is serving. Receiving is stewardship. When you're able to receive, now you can steward the people that God is calling you to serve better, right? But if you're hiding in the back end, trying to tweak everything and make sure it's all perfect, you'll never be able to serve the people that God is calling you to serve. It'll take you forever. Guess what? It's never going to be perfect. B plus work. And this is me coming from a straight A student all my life. B plus work in business. My mentor had to tell me that. Otherwise, I would be literally, this is Janel. Like, you think I haven't gone through this? I'm speaking to my past self here. This is what I was doing, overcomplicating everything. As a registered nurse turned business coach, working in the ER, that's a high stress environment. So when I became a business owner and I was making money from my business with ease, my nervous system was just like, oh, no, something's wrong. Like I literally lived through this. And this is why I can teach it so efficiently to you and to my clients. And this is why I've created the root system and the safe protocol and just all of my frameworks that I use to help my clients to really regulate their nervous system in real time and become aware of the self-sabotaging beliefs that are really causing them to delay their business growth. This is what lights me up, because this is the real work. This is 95% of your success, your business success. It's really your subconscious beliefs. And so if you believe that making money is hard and you have to work really hard for money, then that's what you're gonna continue to see manifest in your life subconsciously. you're going to self-sabotage because you're not going to make, you're going to find your reticular activating system is going to find, it's just going to scan for all the complicated ways to make money. Right? When you give your brain that demand, your beliefs, so your brain just does what your mind believes. And so your brain, your reticular activating system, is connected to the optic nerve, and so it just scans for all the complicated ways. Let me find all the ways I can complicate this process so that I can prove to myself that what I'm believing about it having to be complicated is true. We fall into this loop. And so this is why in this final step of the 10 the seed of truth, this is where you're going to take aligned action. Align with the truth of God. The word of God tells you in Proverbs 10 and 22 that the blessings of the Lord make you rich and he adds no sorrow to it. It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be complicated. And so this is where you now take aligned action in this truth, and you step out and you make an offer, right? You invite, you sell. And this way your body learns like, okay, it's safe.